My name is Lynique, and I'm here to share my story about pretty much being lonely and brokenhearted. I'm 38 years old, and I was raised by my great aunt since I was 3 months old. I never really had a relationship with my biological mother or father. My father's still alive. My mother passed away about 5 years ago, and I never took the time to really build that relationship with her. So driving by myself on the way to Vegas as she passed, it was really hard for me just because I felt like, she would always tell me, take the time to reach out, call me sometimes. But I don't know if it was from my resentment from her being in and out of jail, on and off drugs, prostitution, and all of that. And so, I was just used to being with my great aunt, who I call my mother. And so the father figure that I did know was her husband. And he passed away from cancer. He had lung cancer. And, that was, like I said, the only father figure and what I knew a good man to be in my life, because my father, he's still alive, but just till this day, I can't even ask him for $5. So I just, at 38 years old. And I've always had like this whole thing with men to where it's just, I kind of feel like they're all the same. None of them really want to settle down. They just kind of come and go. And I don't know if that's from the relationship that I had with my father. So I just never was really the type to settle down. So I ended up going to Jamaica, 2 years ago, and I ended up meeting a friend out there who I had met a while ago, some years back. And he just popped up and was like, oh, I'm going to meet you in Jamaica. So I was like, okay. So we kind of rekindled old flames there. And I was like, okay. He stayed in Detroit, and, I live here in LA. And I'm always on the go. I run a full-service concierge, so I'm just the type that's like, okay, whatever, a man is fine, but, I'm just used to always doing me, which is easy for me. So it was easy for me to do the long-distance relationship thing. So, like I said, we rekindled in Jamaica in August, and then he came to LA in January for his birthday. And so, even his mom couldn't believe that he had a girlfriend, because he was kind of, like me, anti-relationship. And so, we just said, okay, let's do this. And it worked out for us. And so, like I said, January he came to visit. And then I had planned to go see him in May. And 2 days before flying out to go see him, I had got a phone call. His sister told me, hey, have you talked to Kari? I said, no. She said, he passed away. I said, oh, wow. 2 days before going to go see him. So I hadn't seen him since January, and, I was excited about seeing him in May. So that ended up happening, and it still obviously, hurts my heart, and just to be back to the drawing board again, being alone. And so I'm like, okay, I finally found a good man that I thought, whatever, and then for whatever reason, God takes him away. So fast forward, I had a dog named Princess, and that was my companionship. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to be the old lady that just passes away with the dog, whatever. And so I don't have any kids, obviously. My dog is my kid. And Princess, she wasn't housebroken. So Madeline had came by one morning, and I think it was to drop off, I don't know if it was to drop off flyers or some flyers, I was helping her promote. And Princess wasn't housebroken. She wasn't trained. So she ended up running outside the front yard. She slipped out the front door, and she got hit by a car. And so I'm like, okay, another piece of me gone. And that happened 5 months later in October. So I literally went the same day and got Joy off of Craigslist, because I was just like, I can't wake up not having a dog. I need that companion, And so that's why Joy is a part of my story, and I brought her here today. But, I say all this to say you just never know what life is going to throw you. And, you just have to stay strong and just keep dealing with whatever comes your way. And they say God won't give you anything that you can't handle. And I'm a true testimony of that. And it hasn't been easy. So, I just say just keep going regardless of what goes on. To some of the ladies that are in bad relationships, I have friends that just, you have that one friend that just can't deal with the in and out, dealing with the different men. It's very, very important to first find yourself, love yourself, And from there, that allows you to love others. So, you know, whether I find it in loving my puppy, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy, just, you know, that should be your priority. Because again, you can't make anyone else happy. I was just at an empowerment brunch yesterday, and like they say, when mom isn't mad, or when mom is mad or wifey's mad, the whole household is mad. So, you know, like I said, just find your happiness. And as far as dealing with heartache, you know, just stay around supportive people. If you don't have a relationship with your parents, I think that's very important, because till this day, it still bothers me that I didn't take the time to get to know my mom. So, you know, that's something else that's important. And I know we deal with a lot of generational curses and things like that. So it's very, very important to recognize that. And if you have to start with yourself, then just start with yourself. Like I say, for me, I don't have a close family. We're not really family oriented. So, you know, I just say, hey, maybe that will change, and I'm the one to break that generational curse once I start my own family. So just be mindful of that. And that's my story.